Good morning and welcome to Paul T's World. And in this video, we're going to have a look around my English garden in autumn. I'll also show some of the videos I took this summer, because as you will have noticed, there's been a little bit of a gap this summer since I last did a video. And that is because I've been away traveling doing my day job. My day job is taking photos and videos around the world in interesting places. And these are used in documentaries, annual reports, websites, the TV, and various other publications. And for a little bit of fun, I'll put some video clips at the end of this video to show where I've been. And let's see if you can recognize some of the places. And let's start with the pathway bed, as I call it. This is the Controversa. It's still got its leaves, a little bit of tinge of red at the edges of the leaves, which is rather nice. The oak leaf hydrangea hasn't turned autumn colours yet. And in fact, it's still got one or two new blooms coming through. And here we have the row of paniculatas. The ones at the top here are the ones that go red and burgundy later on in the year. The azaleas that finished flowering in the late spring have put on lots of new green leaves. There's still a hosta here with a flower. So very pleased with all these paniculata hydrangeas. Oh, these are the dead spent heads of the antirrhinums. I've left them here because I want them to self-seed for next year. As you'll see, I haven't had time to do any weeding. All I've done is quickly cut the grass. In fact, it's been so warm this October in Britain that the grass is growing like crazy. And while I was away in September, there was a lot of rain. So rain and warmth means everything keeps growing. Now, if we look to the other side of the pathway, we can see what's happened with the cuttings I did a couple of years ago. These are the lace caps. They've really grown. And the large lace cap macrophylla, big leaf hydrangea. The Weigelas put on a lot of growth since it flowered early on in the year. Need to just cut this back a little bit off the path. And the Zorro hydrangea, well, it's still got some colour in the petals here, in the bloom here. It's actually leaned forward to get to the light, so I'm going to have to stake that back so it grows upright in this gap here. The fuchsia and the dahlias still flowering. Need to do a little bit of work deadheading here. If you keep deadheading, it'll keep flowering. Because I've been away, I haven't been deadheading the rose campion. However, it's self-seeding and we can see the new plants for next year. So here are new plants coming through. There's a nice big weed here. I've got to do some serious weeding. The Liatris has put on extra growth this year. I'm leaving these seed heads for the birds, and maybe it might self-seed. So that's coming along nicely. Some nice ground cover here. A new cistus that I bought from a garden centre 2 years ago. It has nice white flowers in the late spring. And the sedum spectabile. And I can see here one of the weeds that I get a lot in this garden. I don't know the name of this one. I had someone in to cut the top of this cypress. And he's done a nice job. I didn't expect it to grow this tall this quickly. I bought it as a 2-foot high little specimen in a garden centre for £2.50. The viburnum that I cut right back a few years ago and have encouraged it to make a little bit of an archway. It's just in flower. And I'm very pleased to see that the Bill Mackenzie clematis is growing all over it. So I've got this little archway here that I quite like into the back garden. Straight to a large hydrangea. This is the lace cap. Most of the lace caps in my garden, the big ones, are cuttings from this shrub. And here is that Bill Mackenzie. Got some flowers on it and seed heads that are rather pretty. Oh, here's a better view of the seed heads. There we are. Nicely backlit in the morning sunshine. I don't want to leave this late flowering clematis up against the house all winter, so I'll be cutting this right down. As I've mentioned before in a few videos, this is where I cut it. I cut it down to here. The whole lot will come off to here. And then in the spring, it'll start shooting up, and by midsummer, it'll be back to this height again, and I'll be cutting it away from the gutters. It grows so profusely. Fabulous. Yeah, I do like clematises growing up walls, through shrubs. The magnolia's looking good. Now, in fact, I'm going to have to cut this magnolia back a little bit because that bough is going straight over the hedge. So I'm going to cut that off. And in fact, I'm going to use that little chainsaw that I reviewed early on in the year. And I'll probably cut this back maybe to here. I'll just have to read up the best time to cut back magnolia. They don't really like being cut back, but it'll be okay. Some trees want to be pruned in the winter and some in the summer, such as cherries, plums. They want to be pruned in the summer. And right now, I've just noticed we haven't seen the robin for a while, have we? Where is he? There he is. If I just come round here on the patio, he'll follow me and we'll give him a mealworm. We haven't seen much of the robin in the videos over this last number of months. However, there's quite a story with him. So let's just see if he'll come to my hand. There we are. This is a dried mealworm. Oh, and there he is, right there. Come on. There we are. When I come out in the garden in the morning, he'll come along and normally stand in that camellia there. He's got his little spot and I know where he is. And he does love to have 1 or 2 mealworms hand-fed to him. He's not hungry, he can find lots of food himself. This is just a little bit of extra for him. And I actually believe that he likes human company, because sometimes when I'm out in the garden, he'll actually come and just chunter. He'll just stand next to me chuntering. He's had his mealworms, he's not hungry, he's not looking for food, but he still comes and hangs around. And it's really lovely. The British robins are particularly tame. I'll do a separate video for the patio because quite a lot has changed on this patio this year. So we'll look at that and talk about it in depth at another time. But I am pleased with the firethorn. Pyracantha. I've been keeping it in check and cutting back a lot of the stems that want to grow out. I was afraid I'd be cutting the flowers and berries off, but evidently not. And very soon the blackbirds will be coming to feed on these berries. They'll go for the red ones first, and then they'll have later on the orange ones. You can just hear the robin singing. Now he's had his mealworms, he goes for a sing. So here's the pond bed with some more dahlias and cannas, and this is a red banana. I actually overwintered this, and I'll talk about that another time. I didn't mean to, but I did. Some new plants here. This is its very first year, and they've done really well. And now I'm starting to get self-sown verbena, bonariensis. I'll talk about the tropicals on another video. That's lovely listening to the robin. It's a Musa Baju, hardy banana. All the apples have come off the James Grieve. That's an eating apple tree. The shed bed is evolving, mostly without my attention. It's just doing what it wants to do. I have changed a few things in the bed. What's quite nice is this Salvia amistad. It survived that bad winter last winter. I did have two. I had an orange one, and that one didn't survive. The phantom hydrangea has its large blooms that are very sturdy, holds them up easily. For a little bit of fun, I'll show you some of the video clips that I've taken this autumn and summer. See if you can guess exactly where they are. I'm sure some of you have been there. Can you remember the names though? In a few days, I'll put the exact locations in the comments below, and I'll pin it so it's the first comment. So with the robins singing away, nicely fed, I hope that's brought you up to date with my garden, and I'll see you next time in Paul T's World. Bye.